Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, and thank you so much for taking some of your Saturday morning to join myself and Melissa. Maybe give a little wave there, Melissa, so you can see me. There it is. I'm not exactly sure what you all see on the Facebook Live end of things, but hopefully this will be working. So Mel and I were chatting the other day, and we decided that we would love to have a little chat about self-care. And so that's what this is. This is our brainchild. But I think, just going through what both of us are going through in very different ways, but also sort of the same. And knowing everything else that is going on in the world and what a strange and very challenging time this is, we thought this was a great opportunity to just come on and share some thoughts, a little bit of a chit chat, some strategies, some insights perhaps into self-care, and self-care in a way that can be such an empowering, life-changing way for us to take care of ourselves, and not just our, how we feel in our head, but also how we feel in our body, our physical wellness, and understanding that the two are intimately connected, right? So really quickly about me, I have a background in holistic nutrition. I'm a wellness coach and consultant. I educate on wellness topics. And so this is all really close to my heart. I've been journeying this wellness journey since I used to, until the other day, say since like my 20s. But the more I think about it, I've been working on stuff for pretty much my whole life, like tuning into what felt right and what didn't, and what I wanted and what I didn't. And like all of that is part of wellness, right? So anyways, that could be a whole nother conversation. We're going to focus today on self-care. So just really quickly, if you think about all the information that we're getting, if you're listening to the news, if you're seeing stuff on Facebook, conversations with friends right now, most of this stuff pushes us into our fight or flight mode. I call it that. We could get into all the terminology about the nervous system, but really we're in a state of arousal where our body is primed to protect ourselves. We're ready to run, we're ready to flee, or we freeze, right? And that's because of information we get that generates thoughts, and then those thoughts create hormones in our body that change how we feel physically, like physiologically. We're getting a lot of that right now, right? So unless you make the decision to just turn it all off, which some of us want to do and some of us don't, and that's all, that's all good. We have to have a way to manage that stuff. And we have to be able to say, okay, right now I need this because I'm feeling this way. I need to be able to come back and recognize that, but then have something that I can do to help me change it. Because when I can change a thought, I'm going to change what happens in my body, and I change how I feel. And then that's cycles, right? Because then you're going to have another thought about how you're feeling, and then you're going to feel something else from that, and that continues. We want to make sure that that is a positive cycle and not a negative cycle. And it's really easy right now to get caught in that negative cycle that really impacts not just our mind, but everything. Okay. So what we want to try to do is be in this rest and digest zone, right? The place where our heart rate is a little lower. We're breathing like big breaths, not anxious little breaths. The place where our immune system is working. The place where we have these happy hormones circulating, right? All of this happens in this rest and digest mode. Doesn't happen in fight or flight. Okay. So again, self-care as a way of keeping us in this, or bringing us back when we're feeling that we've just been pushed to the other side of the spectrum. I read an article the other day that talked about self-care, and it was kind of cool because I had never considered self-care in this way. Well, I guess I never thought about it in this way because I know that I've done this, right? And so it talked about some of the different ways that we feel about self-care, even about the word, right? So I just want to stop, Mel, for a sec. What do you think about when you hear the words self-care?
Well, actually, until about a year ago, I thought self-care was, looking my best and curling my hair and wearing makeup. But over the last little while, I've really kind of dumbed it down. It's so much more than that. And I've learned through not taking care of myself how important some of these little steps are. Steps like making a monthly budget and sticking to it, or putting the dishes away at the end of the night so I wake up feeling really good. It's the little steps. It's our daily habits that contribute to just a healthier life. It's not what I thought it was. It really is. It's the simple little things. It's the 10-minute walk around the block, or sitting down and having a nice tea. Or for me, a big thing is now that I'm using my oils, finding an oil I like and just stopping and being in that moment and thinking about just how I feel. And for me, it's been life-changing. Like, I've partnered a little bit with Diane because I met her about a year ago. And when I met her, I was in a really, really tough place, and I was barely putting one foot in front of the other, both financially and mentally, and I was really struggling. And I work in healthcare. I work with doctors and nurses, and I was always a little bit nervous to be very open about how I was feeling. And I just connected with Diane, and I remember she gave me one simple step that I could take home, and that was to add lemon to my water and have a glass of water every morning. And I remember that was one simple step that has changed my life, because I did want that simple step, and then I've added back little steps like my budgeting and so on, and it really has helped me get my feet back on the ground. So I'm really glad that you're sharing some of these tips, Diane. Some of the tips that you're going to share, you've shared with me, and they've helped me. And then I have a few tips that have also helped. And, being down there at ground zero just a year ago, it is truly amazing how such simple daily habits can make a huge difference in how you're feeling.
Yeah, totally. One of the things that's been really interesting for me to work on with the concept of self-care, and something that this article I read brought up, was this idea of guilt around self-care. And at first when I read that, I was like, oh, no. I don't have any guilt. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, but I think too, a lot of, I don't want to limit this to the conversation about women, right? And men go through this too. But those of us that are in like a caregiving role, a mom, looking after someone we care about, there is often some guilt in there, right? Like, oh, all I want to do, it would feel so good to go for a walk all by myself. All I want to do is go, but then I have to, oh no, but they need me. I have to stay here because they need me. I need to do this. I need to do this. No, right? That we have this feeling, this guilty feeling about it. Or something else for me, one of my favorite things, and I'm a pretty I don't wear a lot of makeup or whatever, but one of my favorite things is going to the hair salon and getting my hair done and sitting there and not doing anything, just like chatting casually with the stylist. Maybe they bring me a coffee or a tea. Like, I love it. But there's a cost associated with that, right? So I feel guilty about spending that money on myself. I feel guilty about the time that I take away from my family to just lavish on myself. Let me tell you that then has an impact on how you feel about that self-care, right? So it changes that thought feeling loop that we were talking about, right? So I have this, oh, I love this, oh, but totally changes the experience, right? Whereas like this time I'm getting better, right? Continuing to learn stuff. This time I even got my nails done too. And I walked out of there with I don't care. I'm doing this for myself, and I felt so good. And now every time I look at my nails, I still feel good, right? So it has this cycle, and it doesn't have to be something expensive like getting your hair done. It could be the walk. It could be the lemon in the water, right? You're going to take that 30 seconds in that morning that you're going to dedicate to do that for yourself because it makes you feel good, right? It's so powerful. So anyways, all these things, I love this idea. But, you know, just coming back to like, notice if you do have some of these little guilty feelings about taking that time for yourself, and grab a journal and write some of that stuff out. Because there's usually something deeper going on there, like feelings about like, what is our self-worth, right? Our worthiness. We deserve to feel great. We do. And so, you know, you can do a little digging with that stuff. Journaling is a great tool for that. Also a really powerful form of self-care. Anyways, moving along, I found this really cool quote that I thought summed up self-care really well. And it says, self-care is any activity that we do deliberately in order to make or to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. And the part that I really love in there is the deliberate part. Okay, so I want to just kind of tune. So we deliberately go for a walk, or we deliberately put our lemon in the water. We deliberately go to get our hair done. But we can also think about that in terms of our thoughts, because the things that we allow ourselves to think can also be considered a form of self-care. So when you look in the mirror, what are the thoughts that you repeat to yourself, right? Are you kind to yourself? That is self-care, okay? Catching yourself in that, oh man, look at that jiggle, or whatever. That, you know, and you gotta love it. You gotta love those parts of yourself. And so that part, the deliberate part, is more than just taking like a physical action. It's a awareness of, this is where I am right now. What's causing that? And how can I maybe change that narrative? Okay, telling yourself after everything maybe negative that you tell yourself, just tell yourself I love you. Look in the mirror, I love you. And again, it changes things really quickly. Everything is energy. Our thoughts, everything we think, it's all energy, and it affects our body. So we can deliberately also manage, be mindful of our self-care just in terms of what we allow ourselves to think. That makes sense?
Diane, that's a really good point. And it actually, it reminds me of Eddie Villa's Unleash Your Strengths.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned in the last year, I've always been I always look to improve on my weaknesses. I've always, you know, I'm very much a go-getter, and I'm kind and compassionate, and I'm a lot of really wonderful things, but I am who I am. I sometimes, without even really knowing it, can offend people, and that's never the intent. But what I've learned is I have spent years focusing on trying to fix my weaknesses, and in doing that, I have totally let my strengths go to the wayside. So now what I've done to sort of shift my thinking is I have started to focus more on my strengths, and it has really empowered me to accept myself, be kinder to myself. When I look in the mirror, I feel better, and I see a good person.
Yeah.
So it is, when you speak about how are you talking to yourself, what are you saying to yourself, that was a huge gem for me, listening to one of Eddie Villa's podcasts about unleashing your strengths. Like, I guess the question for people would be, do you know what your top 5 strengths are? And if you don't, it might be something you want to research, because it is quite fascinating. Like, I'm an includer, I'm an activator, I like to get things done, but seeing that includer was in the top 5 totally makes sense, because I open my arms and my home to anybody. I love helping people. And there are, you know, when you start focusing on the good comes to you. And that is another component of self-care. And that is a really important message, especially for people who are struggling with who they are. Focus on your strengths. Those are the important things.
Yeah, so good. It's so true. That, yeah, for any of you that are interested in that Strengths Finder, I believe it's through Gallup is the organization. If you just Google Gallup Strengths Finder, you can take a little quiz and it will give you your top 5 strengths. I think there's a small fee. It might be like $11 or something like that, but it's totally worth it. It can totally change the way you think about what you're doing and how you approach your life and your work and your family and all that kind of stuff. It's really awesome. So Mel, do you want to dive into a little bit about emotions, or was that me? Or do you want to just tell a little bit about your story? What do you want to do?
Sure, I can chat a little bit about mood and emotion.
Sure.
I'm mood and emotional. I have always struggled with 4 days before my time of the month. I don't even know who that person is that comes out 4 days before my time of the month. I've had over the last 6 years, it's been very challenging, I'm not going to lie. And I have had to do several things, and simple steps like the self-care steps that I've taken over the last year have really made a huge difference. When my neighbor reaches out and wants to go for a COVID walk, our 6 feet social distancing or physical distancing walk, that really does make a huge impact in my mood and my emotions. So when we talk about daily exercise, I am not a slender girl, nor am I a very flexible girl, but I do find I do find little things help me. So whether it's a 10-minute walk around our neighborhood, or whether I take soup cans and I joke with my son and pretend I'm lifting weights, just little things like I have fun with my exercise, and I do find that helps me manage my mood and emotion. And good nutrition is also a huge one. I talked to my mom last night, and we're going through some family stuff. My dad's in the hospital, and I talked to my mom, and she was having chips and chocolate for dinner. So she is clearly not taking care of herself. And we know that good nutrition is a vital component of our mood and emotion. What we fuel our body with, it can either be, what's the quote, Diane? You say the quote, food is often our biggest, what is that?
Oh, the most powerful form of medicine, or our slowest form of poison.
That's right, and it's so true. It is so true. One of the other ways that I'm managing my mood and my emotion is through the adaptive gel caps and my essential oils. Like I use the lavender in my bath. I try to have a bath once a week because that's a deliberate self-care action. And I was never much of a bath girl. Like I've always got a million things to do, or always had a million things to do, and I wanted a quick fix, so a shower it was. But now I try to have a bath once a week, and I use Epsom salts and lavender oil. The other thing that I do is I use some Serenity essential oil in a spray bottle, and I spray my linens with it. And that just sort of helps promote that restful sleep, or that restful environment. And on days where I'm really stressed at work, I diffuse my adaptive, and the adaptive is a blend with GABA, and maybe I'll ask Diane to chat a little bit more about the GABA, because the science behind some of these products is really amazing. Like the adaptive gel caps make a significant difference. I've had to, in the last little while, I've had panic attacks and high anxiety with some things that are happening, and it's been truly amazing how some of these oils can just kind of mellow you out and get you back, kind of ground you, and just reassure you can get through anything. So can you chat a little bit about the GABA, Diane?
Yeah, totally. So one of the reasons that I first aligned, just sort of on a side note so you guys understand why I first aligned with this company, is because of predominantly the purity the safety, the testing, everything that they're doing, and so much science and research into not only the essential oils, but also their supplement line. And because I work as a holistic nutritional consultant, sometimes I have clients that need some support, and these are products that I highly recommend because they're the research, the partnerships with the hospitals, the research centers, all of that, the testing, it's all there. So Adaptive, the capsules, is probably one of the coolest things that they have put together, and really was brought into play to address the I think really our elevated state right now in the world, North America for sure. High stress, high anxiety, high nervousness, worry. It's a challenge right now. Like mental, emotional health is really taking a hit. And so this was kind of their response. So this blend includes several essential oils that have a very calming effect on the body, and that are safe to be used internally for that therapeutic calming effect. It also has something called selenium extract in it, which is a phytochemical that is known to help the body calm down, but also helps you with alertness. So while you're taking it, you're relaxed, but you're also functioning well, right? It's not like it's just knocking you out. And then GABA, which is our calming neurotransmitter. And a lot of often people that struggle with like high anxiety, high stress, they're a little bit deficient in the amount of GABA that they're producing, which impacts their, I guess, their elevated state of arousal. So the GABA included in this capsule helps to kind of bring more of the calming neurotransmitter into the body. So you are, again, just able to kind of tone everything down, right? We're not as excitable all the time. Still functioning well, still functioning normally, but everything is just, I want to use the word chill. That's what's coming to me right now. It's not the most scientific term out there, but yeah, it has that effect on the body. And you could kind of think of GABA as like the brakes of the brain, just slows everything down, which a lot of us need. So that's the capsule. You can take that internally, and then you can also just use the essential oil, the calming blend, which is used for aromatic or topical use. So diffusing it, putting a drop in your hand, breathing it in. And although it doesn't contain the GABA, it just contains the essential oils. I would say that it too has that effect of just kind of the brakes on the brain, right? Stops the spinning mind. It's really magical actually when you breathe in an essential oil, because it's like your brain can't think all the thoughts and you smell the oil at the same time. It doesn't work that way. So it gives you a moment to just breathe. That oil circulates into the olfactory systems, which then affects the limbic system of the body and targets that rest and digest, all those things that we want to be functioning so that we can have a good immune system, so that we can be digesting, so we can relax. It turns all that on. So there are a couple of the amazing tools for sure for the emotional support.
Whenever we chat about Adaptive, Diane, and you mentioned selenium, it always takes me back to the farm when we were calving cows, because we used to have selenium, like buckets of selenium mineral for the cows to lick, so that their like when they were waiting to calve, because the selenium is really good for the cows. It's a mineral that they need.
No way.
To develop, healthy calves. So I think about selenium because it's vital in cows. It's vital in human beings. And you know, the GABA too. The GABA's it's been known, like there's so many scientific research-based papers that have been published regarding GABA, and it's been referenced to help support those with ADHD, suffering from anxiety. And right now I've had to order my adaptive gel caps from the States, and I had a couple of weeks where I ran out and I was waiting for my shipment, and it's pretty significant how it helps you get through some challenging times. So I am absolutely an advocate for that gel cap blend. I do think it helps. And then with the GABA and the selenium in it, the science is there. So that to me is quite fascinating.
Yeah, it's super cool. I'll just really quickly mention Copaiba because it's one that I go to every day. So I take 2 drops of Copaiba under my tongue every day. And it's a lot of people, when we first start chatting about Copaiba, they refer to it, or they say they've heard about it as like the CBD of essential oils. So be clear that there's no CBD oil or anything in Copaiba, but Copaiba contains beta-caryophyllene, which is a cannabinoid. Okay, and cannabinoids interact with our endocannabinoid system, and they bind to receptors. And so this particular oil, the way that works in our system is it binds to the receptors that support healthy inflammatory response, healthy immune system, healthy nervous system, healthy cardiovascular system, healthy digestive system. And it is another one that is super, in terms of the nervous system, very good at putting the brakes on. It's very calming and very grounding. So that's one that I use in a daily routine to make sure that I put it under my tongue every morning, that I start the day on a good path of just functioning well, functioning grounded, and not letting my thoughts lead me astray if they were about to. And then we just added another fan favorite there, which is lavender. It's probably one that's most commonly known. It is, like I said, a fan favorite and is amazing for just being so soothing and so calming. So these are like some, like Mel and I talked about, simple things, daily habits that we have incorporated that have made an impact in our world, how we take care of ourselves. And know that we could have filled this screen with different products and things. These are the ones that really speak to Mel and I, which is why we shared them. Okay, moving along. Okay, so talking about sleep, this is probably one that I hear people struggle with on a regular basis and just sort of accept that that's the way it is. They just don't sleep. And really, managing this is such an important part of taking care of ourselves and just like addressing our overall wellness. So many things happen for us when we sleep. When we sleep, we produce human growth hormone. So that's our body's ability to recover and restore daily, right? Every day, getting this period of time where our body basically, goes into recovery mode. And if we're not sleeping at particular times or through the night consistently, then we lose that opportunity to produce that. Nutrition, exercise, again, are both going to be big factors that support sleep. So anytime you take a little bit of self-care for yourself, make sure you have a good meal, you get your daily walk in, you play on the floor with your kid or your puppy or whatever, you move your body. That's all going to be beneficial for your sleep. Okay, so you get the benefit of feeling happy in the moment and a residual effect of you're going to sleep better at night. These are 2 things that you could try if you're needing a little bit of additional support. Serenity is a restful blend. So it includes lavender as well as Roman chamomile, marjoram, ylang ylang, Hawaiian sandalwood, and some vanilla bean, which is really nice in there. And is intended, basically was created to be used to support restful sleep. So this is a good one to diffuse. You can apply it to the bottoms of your feet. Specifically target the base of the big toe because that's helpful to quiet the mind. That's a reflexology point for the brain. And then for those that maybe need a little bit of additional support, there's the Serenity Restful Complex, which the essential oil itself is not one that you would ingest, but the complex you can. And it does include lavender in it, as well as other plant-based botanicals that are supportive of restful sleep. So this is a natural sleep aid. It does not leave you feeling groggy in the morning. There's no chemicals, nothing in it. It's just helping the body to sleep, helping the mind to relax.
And I think the big thing to mention here too is it is not addictive.
Yeah.
That's a really big one. I have a lot of friends who still use other methods of like other sleep aids, and what they're not realizing is those some of those sleep aids actually have chemical in them that is extremely addictive. So you got to be really careful with that stuff. Just because we can buy it over the counter does not mean it is safe for you. And I am an advocate for modern medicine and primary and preventative care, but we still have to be really careful with what we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go on this one, Mel?
Sure, because when I do that, I do need deep blue. So it is recommended that we have 30 minutes of exercise per day. And, you know, for someone who doesn't exercise a lot, that can actually be kind of scary. Diane is amazing. She's in her 40s and she can hold her body weight up with her hands. Like, to me, that's a life goal. Who would have ever thought I would want a life goal like that? But it's truly amazing. And she got there through simple steps. It is amazing the power of stretching. And, you know, with a son, a 9-year-old son at home who loves his sports, you know, I can include him in my daily exercise. It does not have to be hard. Like I mentioned before, you know, lift your soup cans, you know, find something in the kitchen, just get moving, have a dance party, go for a little walk. I have a chocolate lab, and that dog is crazy, full of energy, and she keeps me on my toes, and she really helps get me out. So exercises, it does not have to be hard. It can be anything. You know, it can be a walk, it can be a run, it can be dance, it can be yoga, weightlifting, it can be a sport. And if you're not sure where to start, Diane shares, she has a group called Nurturing Wellness. And I noticed she posts a really simple yoga move in there. And just little things like that will make a huge, huge difference. And you don't have to be a pro. Like, if you have ever seen me try to touch my toes, it ain't pretty. So just know that there are other people out there that are having a hard time getting their 30 minutes in. I work a desk job, so I'm on my butt all day long. But it's those simple little things. You know, take 3 10-minute intervals. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to necessarily make you sweat, but just get moving, whatever it is that gets you moving.
I'm going to just, full disclosure, since I've been so happy, we moved into this new house, and I've really just been so happy to be in this new house. And I don't know if it's that or just now. I was living in a condo before, so I was always a little bit just aware of, like, if I turned up music loud or something, I didn't make it too loud. But man, daily dancing while cooking dinner has been a part of my world since I moved into this house. And I will tell you, man, it is so good. Like, I just feel so and then my kids are dancing, and my husband dances too sometimes, but sometimes he also just looks at me like I'm a little crazy, but whatever, right? Do you see on the picture there, the smile on her face? I think that's the key, what Mel was saying. Like, it doesn't have to be super taxing and super hard. You need to move, and you need to have fun. Like, pick something that you like. Don't make, you know, if you're going to get into exercise as a form of self-care, don't pick something that you're dreading, because you're not going to do it. And then you're going to feel guilty because you're not doing it. And then you're back into that thought feeling loop of crappiness. Okay. Find something that puts a smile on your face. Maybe it's something digital right now. If you can't get together with people, like most of us can't, you can connect online and you both do your push-ups. I don't know, laugh about it. Right. The joy in movement and the connectedness that you can create, both also huge side benefits. Okay, so this is that quote, actually, we prefaced a little bit before. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. So I just think that's so powerful. And you know, we're not going to eat perfectly all the time. It would get pretty boring if that was the case. Unless, I guess, you know, everybody's different. Maybe that's just what fills your bucket and you choose to do it. Eat perfectly, whatever perfect is for you. So a couple things I would say about this is whole foods, as much color as you can get into your diet. Avoid the packages and the cans. Okay. When you're purchasing something, look at the ingredients and see how many there are. And if you can compare it with something else, pick the one that has the fewer ingredients. Okay. Try to eat like, if you can visualize yourself, like maybe when, you know, walking in a garden and you just got to pick whatever you wanted, it would all look like it just came out of the ground. That is what we want to put into our bodies, right? The real food. Not, I mean, I also love potato chips, but not the potato chip, the potato, right? Or you make your own potato chips, whatever. The other thing we need to do though with food is also understand, like I said, it's something we need to enjoy. So also give yourself the opportunity, the time, the space to enjoy the foods that you enjoy. If they're not, you know, the most nutritious or whatever, you get to have treats, okay? That makes these things, if we're changing things, that makes them attainable and can also be a really wonderful form of self-care. Have you guys ever been, those of you that live in the High River area, the, oh, now I'm going to drop the name of it. Home Ground, the coffee shop in Okotoks, makes the most amazing cinnamon buns ever. And I do not typically eat a lot of bread. That is not something that I know sits well in my body. So every once in a while, I will go there and I will get a cinnamon bun. And I sit in that coffee shop and I freaking relish that thing because it's so good. Then I try to make different choices the rest of the day, but I allow myself to just love it because that impacts how it's going to be digested by me, right? How it's going to move through my body. There is energy in food and our thoughts, right? We want that all to be positive. So do your best, make it as colorful and whole and good quality as you can, and then allow yourself to have the treats, the special moments, and allow yourself to feel good when you get them and enjoy them. Otherwise, there's that guilt train popping up again, right? And that's not doing us any service. Mel, your daily habits.
Yes, these are my simple daily habits that have been life-changing. And I'm not even joking. So and I mentioned this with self-care. So I always vision self-care as something that I couldn't afford. You know, because I'm on my own with my little guy, so money is often tight, and I needed to find value in simple things. So I use lemon in my water. I put frankincense under my tongue because frankincense I know is contributing to an overall healthy immune system, and it's also contributing, it helps me with anxiety. It's a fantastic oil for cellular growth. And it is also one of the oils that the three wise men gifted Mary and Joseph when Jesus was born. So to me, that is a very grounding, a very special oil. And every day I deliberately put one drop of that under my tongue. And it's almost like a way to greet my morning and just be thankful for what I have. You know, I do other little things, like I make a linen spray. I make a facial spray. I've got one with peppermint oil for when I just need a perk, like to perk myself up, such as this morning because I didn't sleep very good last night. You know, I love to make my own natural cleaning products. I use the oils for healthcare. I make a first aid salve, and I find these little simple habits are really improving my life because not only am I healing people in my home, I'm also helping others, and that's really, it's very rewarding when you take something that is such a simple little thing that I often do. Like I'm incorporating this into my life daily. And natural beauty. I make my own facial serum. So and I've noticed the difference. Now when I look in the mirror, I'm always like right close looking to see how my skin is looking, because I have made a facial serum with a bunch of different oils and some very nice carrier oils, and I've noticed a difference. Now when I look in the mirror, I feel kind of pretty. And because I'm feeling this way, I found that I wanted to invest a little bit of extra money in myself, and I went and did something like I had my eyelashes tinted and curled, because I'm not really a girly girl, but I do like I do like having my eyelashes lifted so they're not always pointing down at the ground, just little things like that. And I always try to check in on somebody, and every day. And I find by doing simple things like this, it comes back tenfold. And I've been able to get through this crazy time in our lives just by incorporating simple little steps. And I have also, I make it a point to sit down with my son and eat at least a meal a day with him, whether it be dinner or lunch, or we have breakfast together. And we used to be very busy. We used to be running from one place to the next. So although this has been a challenging time, it has also been kind of a blessing. It's been a time to slow down and reflect on what is important. And I'm back to managing my finances better. I'm watching my budget every couple weeks. I prepare something for the following 2 weeks, and I always kind of know where I'm at. And it is amazing how these little things can help. So big advocate there. One of my favorite things, and I don't know if we have a slide for this. I thought I tried to slide it in, because one of my favorite things to do every day is to say goodnight to my kitchen. And this is actually an idea that I gleaned from Whole Fit, which is a company out of Ontario, Ange Peters. Really great lady to follow. Very black and white. She talks about scrubbing your life. It's really simple, like clean out your phone, do all these different things. It's really great resource. I'll share it in the event so you have it. But one thing that she shared was always say goodnight to your kitchen. And I thought, that is ridiculous. What the heck is she talking about? But what she means by that is take 10 minutes. And this could be one of your 3 10-minute exercise intervals. Take 10 minutes, get your whole family involved. Go around your house, rush around your house and just tidy things up. Clean out your sink, get all your dishes put away. And then before you go to bed, put a drop of spearmint essential oil in your sink, rub a cloth around, and just look over everything. Enjoy that moment. Enjoy that clean house. Enjoy that minimalism. Enjoy that space. And you will be amazed at how you feel when you wake up. It is truly amazing how something so simple, 10 minutes, can change your entire morning. So tonight, even if you don't have a spearmint essential oil, that's okay. Go take something that smells really nice and go take 10 minutes, clean your house up at the end of the night, throw something that smells really nice in your sink, clean it up, and just stop and look around and enjoy those moments. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, just maybe message us and let us know how you feel. Yeah. Because it really, it's so simple, and it has such a significant impact on my life, my son's life, just everything. It's amazing how something so small can make such a difference.
Sweet. I actually tried that the other day too, and it smelled amazing. I don't think I did it at night though. I should do it at nighttime.
Yeah, it really is amazing. And I'm not sure I'll ever use another oil aside from spearmint. I love the spearmint.
It's a new favorite.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I know we're getting on here in time, folks, but if you can stick around, this is a cool slide to, yeah, I think really important right now. So this is a picture of a little diffuser that we have. It's called a pilot diffuser, and it's portable. So this is one you can take in your car. You can take it anywhere with you, room to room to room, and have these, whatever it is, diffusing that makes you feel good, right? How you feel is, and addressing that is such a powerful way for us to take care of ourselves. So one of my favorite things to share is this aromatherapy wheel. Okay, so these are particular blends that doTERRA creates. I have a couple of favorites in this wheel that I use in particularly in moments of need, right? When I am feeling a way that I don't like, that's making me sad or mad or frustrated or I'm overwhelmed. This wheel has allowed me to have a better grasp on, okay, Diane, how do you really feel right now? It's allowed me to label it, basically, which for me has been very helpful in then finding a way to kind of just sit with that for a minute and then move through that. So I'll use the one on the bottom there for example. It's called Forgive, and it is my favorite essential oil that I use when I'm feeling a way that I don't want to be feeling that way. It's not my true who I am. I'm a pretty, generally speaking, happy person. I like to feel that way. It affects me when I'm not feeling that way, right? I want that back. So Forgive, as you can see, is down at the bottom of that wheel. And you'll see that it's sort of a blend of the herbs and grasses and a blend of the tree oils. So this makes this oil a very grounding oil, right? Like all of these things grow close to the ground, roots, deep roots of trees growing into the earth, herbs and grasses that grow low, right, to the surface of the earth. That means that all of the components in that oil are going to be extremely grounding and soothing. With the first time that I smelled this blend, I got the bottle, I opened it up, I gave it a little whiff, and I literally was like, ugh, I don't like that. I'm never going to use that. What a waste. And I put it on my shelf. And then a couple days later, I came home and my husband had put it in the diffuser. And I literally, like if you can visualize the cartoons where the little characters float on, like you'll see the aroma, right? It's like a smoke or something in the air. And the little character like follows the smell, like floats on the smell. I swear to you, that is how I felt. I went from the front door, I floated to the diffuser and I stuck my face right in it and I didn't want to leave. Like I remember sitting there thinking, okay, Diane, you can go now. And then I was like, no, I don't want to go. I want to keep smelling this. It had such a profound effect on how I felt. And this is what I do now. Anytime I'm feeling super stressed, I'm worried about something, I have a thought ruminating around in my head that I know is not serving me. I'm anxious, I'm feeling frustrated or bitter about something. This is my oil. And again, it helps me to say, okay, what's going on? What is the thought? How am I feeling? Okay, let's move through this, right? And it's so powerful. And you can do this in so many ways. If you look up at the top of the wheel, you'll see an oil there called Motivate. It's very uplifting, very encouraging, motivating, right? It pulls from the citrus and the mints. So the way I like to think about it is if you think about fruit, like an orange growing on a tree, it grows up high, right? Up high on the tree. So oils coming from the trees, the fruit growing on the trees, or like the petals on flowers or leaves at the top of the tree, those are going to uplift you. They're going to lift you up, right? Where, like I talked about, Forgive, everything is close to the ground, so it's very grounding. You think about that oil there that says cheer, it's got some spices in it. It's also got citrus. So again, it's going to be invigorating. It's going to move you forwards and upwards, if that makes sense. So I won't kind of dwell on this too much more, but just knowing that part of this taking care of ourselves is honoring where we are at. And this tool helped me with that. This is how I feel, and that is okay. It's okay to feel this way. I honor that, but I'm also going to help myself to move through that. And these oils have been amazing for that. Okay, so really quickly, we'll fly through this part for you because you've been so patient, and thank you for coming to listen to us. This is the first time we've done one of these little like live chats via Zoom on Facebook. Mel, maybe we should start a podcast.
Maybe. I think we need to ask our participants.
Okay, I guess we can get some feedback.
It has been kind of fun because I do find we, you know, I came to start using essential oils because I was really struggling with my mental health. Like I was really struggling, and they've helped me. And I think it really aligns with the self-care piece because I now use my oils to take deliberate moments throughout the day to just stop and enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm using these, you know, because these oils that we're using are so pure and potent, I can use them in so many aspects of my life. And that's another thing that's really important to me because I don't have a lot of extra money. So I need to find a value in things. And I was just out at Walmart grabbing everything I need for Christmas, like my groceries and stuff. And I was walking through the beauty aisles and the shampoo aisles and all those things. And I thought, geez, Melissa, you haven't spent any money down any of these aisles in almost a year. And
Mhm.
that's because I've learned, I've taught myself, and through kind of mentorship with you, Diane, I've been able to like eliminate a lot of that crap and just make a lot of my own stuff. So, you know, that's been really huge for me. And, you know, there are 3 different ways that we can purchase these oils. I absolutely, now that I understand the value of a pure high quality oil, there's no other essential oil out there that I would use. doTERRA's oils are tested, they are sourced ethically. It truly is an amazing company to be in, to support and advocate for. And retail's one way you can purchase oils, but whoever we that, because that's the most expensive way to buy your oils. And one of the areas that attracted me here to doTERRA was actually their wholesale account. So for $42 a year, just like a Costco card, I can buy whatever oil I need whenever I want it. I don't have to order a minimum amount. I don't have any commitment. I still get to participate in all of the ongoing education and just use what I want or order what I want when I need it. And that was huge for me. And then of course there's the other option where if you are finding yourself using essential oils and our products all the time, then we would chat with you about going on our loyalty program, because then you get free points and free products for that. But at the end of the day, there's an option for everybody. And I really think that the company that we advocate for is truly changing the way that essential oils, well, they're just changing the way that essential oils are being seen across the world. And being someone who believes in our modern healthcare system, I value an organization that is science-based. They invest in research, they invest in quality, they invest in people, they invest in community, and they invest in partnerships to bring the therapeutic benefits of essential oils to the next level in relation to modern healthcare. And I just think that is fascinating. So the business to me, Diane, is so intriguing. But the products are absolutely amazing. And this month we have some really amazing sales. And I think the thing that really resonated with me, Diane, when you shared the oils with me, is the fact that we would never want anyone to buy something they do not benefit from or would not use. So if you are thinking about essential oils, getting into a pure quality oil, wanting to learn about the difference between the oils that we have and the oils you buy at Shoppers Drug Mart, please reach out to whoever invited you here, because there is a difference. It is a significant difference. And we advocate for doTERRA for a reason. And the month of December is a really great month to get involved, because all of our enrollment packages are actually 20% off. So every enrollment collection includes a free membership, that wholesale membership that we talked about. And included in that is a wellness consult with Diane, who is our holistic nutritionist, and she truly is amazing. She never gives herself enough credit, but I always try to pump her tires as much as I can, because
Thanks, Mel.
yeah, she kind of saved me. And you know, I have a long way to go, but I really, you know, I'm thriving, Diane, and I owe it to you. I really do. So yeah, that's my little blurb on that. I think the big message though is, if you are interested, we're not pushy people. we're not pushy salespeople. We would never want to try to sell you something just to make a sale. But we truly want to help, and we want to share how we can help. So if, you know, a good way to start is to think about your 3 top health concerns. What are your 3 health concerns? And then reach out to us, or we can reach out to you, and we can see how we can help. And we can go from there and make recommendations based on even personal need, the financial situation, etc. So yeah.
Awesome. I think we'll kind of stop it there. Mel, is that okay with you? Yeah. So I would just add, like, echo everything that Mel just said. And then also, I want to give you some homework. Some self-care homework. Are you ready? Okay. So this morning has already passed, but so for tomorrow morning, no, let's refresh that. Tonight, you're going to do Mel's suggestion. Even if you don't have spearmint, like she mentioned, do something this evening so that when you wake up in the morning, you look at your space and you're just really grateful and happy to be in it. Okay, so that's homework 1. What did you say, Mel? 10 minutes? Take 10 minutes to set your space up so that when you walk into it in the morning, you feel awesome.
Yep, 10 minutes.
Second thing is literally can take you 1 minute, and you can even do it on your phone if you're like scrolling or whatever on social media. Just stop, go into your notes, write down every single thing you can think of that you're grateful for. And that might sound a little bit like overwhelming, but just I did this last night. Before I knew it, I had a list so long that I scrolled twice to get through it. And I was just sitting at the table while my kids were playing, and I was, okay, so a gratitude list. And then I want you to look at those things, and you wrote them down, but feel them. Like, feel them, how they make you feel. And that is where gratitude gets really powerful. Okay, it's one thing to write it down, to look at the list. Okay, I did my gratitude list for the day. Good for me. Feel it in your heart and in your soul, and that will bring you so much joy. Okay, third thing is, oh, you have to dance in your kitchen tonight. Okay? And I'm still learning all the tech stuff, so I don't know if it's possible, but if you dance in your kitchen, I want you to take a little video of it, and then you're going to post it somewhere and tag Melissa and I. And that will bring me so much joy to see that, okay? And then I want to hear, like, you can't not have fun if you're dancing in your kitchen. Pick, like, your favorite utensil. The other night I was dancing with my spatula. It was pretty funny. So those are your 3 self-care homework items for today. Maybe tomorrow they're different. Who knows?
Okay. I'm going to post those 3 homework items in our Simple Self-Care Tips for Everyone event, okay?
Awesome. So, thank you. Cool. All of you that are here, actually that tuned into Zoom, and if anyone is watching on Facebook Live, I really just want to thank you for coming. I believe in my holistic scope that there's a little voice inside, right? So if you're here looking at this video, especially if you've stuck on this long, thank you so much for that. There's a reason that you're here. Some little part of you was like, oh, I maybe need to listen to that, or I'm interested in that, or whatever. Listen to that voice. That's your intuition. That is your wisdom. It's telling you what you need. And we need to get better at listening to that voice. If Mel and I can help you with that, just let us know. Okay. But I really want to thank you for your time, because your time is so important. So thank you for sharing it with us, and have an amazing day. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine. I'm going to stop my sharing and
thank you.
stop my recording.